Yeah, Melissa, so enough is enough. That's essentially the gist of the message of the city this weekend. You can see behind me, city bylaw officers are here right at the entrance of High Park. This weekend, they're cracking down on those who are still trying to access prohibited amenities, park amenities, as well as even issuing tickets for those who aren't maintaining a safe distance from others when they're out in the park or in public spaces. Now, the message from government and health officials has always been stay home, but with so many messages and things changing constantly, as well as people wondering whether they can stay home or when they can go home and what they can get fined for, it can be confusing. Park amenities have been closed since last week. That means playgrounds, off-leash areas, sports fields, and even city-run parking lots are off limits. But there are those who are still skirting the rules. Reports of people tearing down caution tape and breaking into areas that have been locked off, leading Mayor John Tory to call for a weekend enforcement blitz.
What we have is a couple of hundred bylaw enforcement officers and about 150 police officers, hopefully just educating people that don't have the message saying, please, best you should stay home. But if you need to be in the park for any reason, then please stay 2 meters away, 6 feet away from each other. And they are giving tickets where they have to, but mostly it's about education and persuasion.
The fines are steep, a minimum of $750 for using prohibited amenities and $1,000 for failing to keep at least a 2-meter distance from others who don't live in the same household. In Mississauga, a similar crackdown.
We want to ensure that people are practicing proper physical distancing of 2 meters or 6 feet apart and not gathering of groups. We have seen some incidents of vandalism, the removal of the gates that are blocking all of our parking lots.
An obvious infraction, but with what feels like constant changes, closures, and crackdowns, many have found the messaging unclear, confused about what's permitted and what isn't.
I had no idea until today. I told my parents I was going to Jack Darling, and they said, don't go, you're going to get fined. And I had no clue. Okay. So I haven't been paying attention to what exactly they're doing.
Yeah. You hear that you shouldn't be walking outside at all. And then some people say you walk outside but with a mask. Some people say 6 feet distance. So it is a bit confusing.
Just make it very clear for people, what can they do now? There's been a lot of restrictions on them. What can they do?
Bottom line, we're saying to people stay home, and that's compulsory for people who are 70 years old, people who have been tested as having the virus, people who are in close contact with someone who has the virus. For everybody else, we're also saying stay home. Take a walk on a secluded street in a neighborhood you've never seen before, in the city nearby where you live, places where there aren't a lot of other people. But if you insist, because there's no alternative, on going to the park, then we would say that don't go on the playgrounds, don't go on the fitness equipment, they're taped off, but also just make sure you stay at least 2 meters away from other people.
Tory says at this point, not many tickets have actually been issued. Police are focusing more on, again, education and giving warnings and really giving tickets to those people who really feel that the rules don't apply to them. City officials did note, however, that as of 1 o'clock this afternoon, more than 100 vehicles had been turned away from Humber East and West parking lots. So clearly still a lot of work to be done to drive that message home that staying home saves lives.